Welcome to the ultimate rebuild. Today we're going to take Sunderland from the Championship to Premier League glory. Right now we're sitting 4th in the Championship and our goal is simple. Get Sunderland back to the Premier League and then never look back. But we're not stopping there. We've got a squad with talent, a unique tactic that's going to turn heads and the ambition to take on the big dogs in the Premier League. This isn't just about promotion, folks. This is about building a dynasty and claiming that Premier League title. How long will it take us to achieve greatness? Will it be a few seasons or will it be a dig deeper? We won't stop until we lift that trophy and prove Sunderland's place at the top. Let's get into it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment below what you think. Let's head on in. So then, this is going to be Sunderland inside of the game, and I will go over and say, I know we done one about 4 months ago, but I've had a lot of requests and there has been quite a fair few player changes and we are playing an entire new system. Now, in terms of reputation, we've got a decent reputation, okay? A 3-star reputation, very good training, very good youth facilities, and the youth recruitment only is probably the real negative, to be honest, which of course we can work on over the next 5 years, or hopefully less than that, but we will see, because I am confident we can get into the Premier League in a couple of seasons, but then it comes down to how long it will take for us to actually go over and win that Premier League title. Now, the owners, they do love the club, and the money, there is worse clubs that you can have. When it comes to money, sometimes Sunderland do pump out the money in these rebuilds, and do you know what? Hopefully today is one of those days. Now, in terms of history, 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 5 Sky Bet Championships, 1 Sky Bet League 1, 1 English Community Shield and 1 Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Now, the aim today is to turn that 6 into a 7. Ideally, we would also turn this 2 into a 3 and also add a Carabao Cup in. And why not European football as well? If we can win a European trophy with Sunderland and the Premier League, we might just be onto something. Now, if you are playing back home, you would have had a budget of £5 million. I personally am playing on the brand new database of the brand new signings, all of that good stuff, so I'm not going to sign anybody else. Now, in terms of debts and loans, they're actually pretty calm, to be honest. Nothing too serious, so the finances is quite nice not to worry about. Now, we are going to be using my Henrik Ruststrom's 4-2-3-1. Now, it is a tactic that is yet to come out on the main channel, so if you haven't, make sure you are going over to that Patreon and getting this tactic early doors, and also getting the rebuild file as well, if you do want to carry on, because you get all of the good stuff early doors. It will be called something different, because I'm going to mould it more based around the Sunderland team, because at the moment, for example, Bellingham's up front because we don't really have a better striker according to the game. Now, for a season in the Championship, we probably can get away with it, so I might roll with it for a season. One of my favourite players, you're going to think I'm crazy for some people, is actually Rig. I really like Rig in this game when it comes to sort of lower standard football, and I'm not slating the Championship because it's a very, very good league, but I don't know if he can do it in the Prem, but in the Championship, this guy's actually a monster. The same will honestly be said for Roberts. This guy can get the job done in that AM role, but hopefully you enjoy a bit more of a unique formation. It is based around a inspiration of Henrik Ruststrom, so hopefully you enjoy. The only thing which I'm quite worried about when it comes to this team is the fact that, once again, it seems to be a big pattern in the recent rebuilds. We do have 3 players, 2 of them that are going to get into the first team, so if they do perform, it almost comes across that we've got to sign them because it would make sense to, but sometimes you don't have the money. Now, with that being said, I think we are going to go over and get into our first season. Now, if we don't get promoted, it's on me, okay? Because I am going to say to you right now, I am going to take the gamble in playing Job up front. Now, of course, we have got the likes of this lad as well, so he can play up front, and you know what? Maybe he would be a better choice. But if you go, for example, to a quick pick, it does put him on the left because it is his most comfortable role. And if I'm right in saying, sorry Sunderland fans, if not, you've got Poveda, you've got Benete, you've got Mundell, but Isidore is probably the best winger, so especially in the game. So he is going to get prioritised out there. The backline's not too bad. Sirkin's a good left back. Mepham, Ballard, Hume, Patterson's not a bad keeper either. It's actually quite a good team. So let's go over into Season 1. We are playing in 3 competitions, and they are predicting a finish of 6th place. Now, I'm going to say it now. As long as we get into the playoffs in Season 1, it's completely fine. But realistically, let's try and get promoted, shall we? Come on, let's load in. Well then, people, we have gone over and achieved greatness. We are going to get promoted in Season 1, and I tell you what, it was done quite comfortably, as we do actually either win or draw 40 out of 46 games. We only lose 6 games, and none of them were real batterings, and I tell you what, as to be expected... Well, not to be expected, actually. We have got 2 players fighting for the top goal scorer. Now, the first one is going to be this lad, a player that I didn't even really talk about, and I do apologise. It is going to be Mienda. He's going to come in with 20 goals, and also, the man we did discuss at quite a bit of detail in, is going to be that Y player. Now, I have gone in and looked. He was playing some games up front, some games on the left, so it does explain why he's able to get so many goals. We've got 2 players best in the average rating. We've got the most clean sheets, Patterson, right now. This is where things get a little bit sad sometimes, because he's a great goalkeeper, and I'm going to say right now, I'm going to give him a shot in the Premier League for Season 1. But if he doesn't perform, this is where rebuilds can get pretty peak inside of the game, because he will get put to one side. Now, he's done his job, he's got us to the Premier League, and I honour that. I am an honourable manager. I will give him a shot in the Premier League. It might cost me, it might not. Only time's going to tell. Patrick Roberts, the top assister as well, the 27-year-old. Great to see him doing well. It's a very good season. As you would expect, the other English Cups went as English Cups probably would go. We do get knocked out against Stoke City, who I do think we can beat, to be honest, but it was a very close game. We actually do lose 3-2 in extra time in the 4th round of that FA Cup, and the 3rd round knocked out against Huddersfield. Again, another team that I feel like we could potentially beat. So the only annoying thing going out in the 3rd round there as well is both of the exits are against teams that I feel like we could have beaten, and as you can see from the performance, it's not exactly ideal. But as for this is absolutely amazing, because we are already back in the Prem, and if you know anything about football, you know promotion to the Prem usually means cashola. Now let's go and see how much we've got. 47 million is not what the doctor ordered. I'm going to be honest, it might sound ungrateful, but sometimes I've had budgets upwards of 70 million when I go into a Premier League season, so we will make it work because that's what we try and do on this channel. But let's go over and actually see the team, see what the situation is. We'll go by the best 11. I want to see how Job got on, so he didn't score that many goals. It's completely fine because, of course, this lad Mienda did 24-2. Is this guy, is he a Premier League striker? That's up for debate, isn't it? I think we potentially could be... I don't know what to do here. It's a bit of a mixture because I get attached to players too much in this game because I want to give people chances in the Premier League and it might cost me. And you're going to think I am insane, but I might try one season in the Prem without bringing in a striker and let the likes of Mienda have a chance. It's such a big gamble. Of course, if it's not him, we have got Russin coming back, and he is a very, very decent striker, at least a level above. So we might be okay, but it is one big, big gamble, and it could cost us big time. Now, in terms of the rest of the players, Sirkin had a great season with 13 assists. I have changed a few roles, as you are going to see as we progress through, and he's actually a decent Premier League player. So as left backs go, we're actually pretty sorted, and he enjoyed a great season, so hopefully that's going to be okay. The midfield might need a bit of upgrading. I mean, Neil, of course, a player who has done quite well with 9 and 10. Whether that's good enough for the Prem, again, is to be discussed. You don't really know until you're in the Prem, and then it's too late. Roberts, 18 and 19, again, a performance which you would argue maybe does justify a bit of trust in the Premier League, and we've even got people out on loan who were doing great. Of course, we do have the likes of Pembele, a player that can develop into a great player as well, but realistically, I think it's a decent first season in terms of stats, amazing in terms of trophies, but we've got to take a look. Now, for these players, I will go and say, this guy here, I really like this guy, and I would love him to be at the club permanently. So we're going to do it live and see how much it's going to cost me, between 14 and 21 million. So I'll try and make that happen. But other than that, I mean, the likes of Mepham, I might let go. I don't know how good he actually is. What was his average rating? I mean, it wasn't exactly electric, so I probably won't look to make him permanent. The same will go for this guy as well in Solis. So there's not too much pressure in keeping the loanees. We've got 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 6 players, 8 players coming back off loan, so we can see who comes back and really, really attempt to build a team that, let's face it, survives. That is the only aim. Let's get into season 2. Right, but we didn't sign Mepham, but we signed Eric Garcia. Sunderland fans, leave a like on the video, because what a name to attract to Sunderland. From Barcelona, he comes in for 22 million, and again, doesn't drop the best average rating, but he is in a newly promoted Premier League team, and he would be getting a lot of people attack him. So, do you know what? For season 1, I'm going to accept it. He has got a bit of everything, including the passing, so we can actually play out the back now with a little bit of elegance. And do you know what? What a signing that is. Also gone over and picked up Emerson Royale. A lot of people are very, very iffy with this guy in real life, and fair play. But do you know what? In the game, he's an absolute monster and one of the better right-backs available, and one of the right-backs that was actually happy coming to a team that is newly promoted. Now, it does cost. It cost me 19 million. He picks up 5 assists, 7.13 average rating. The only reason I brought him in, despite our previous right-back having a decent championship season, is because the wing-back areas are very important. In a Premier League season, they can get torn apart. So I have invested a fair bit of money into the back line, in Eric Garcia, in Emerson Royale as well. And I would say so far, based off the stats, they've had pretty decent seasons. Now, what I like about Emerson Royale, he is quick, he has got good tackling, he's got great work rate, he's got great stamina. He can pretty much do it all. The only thing I'll change about him is better crossing. And lastly, the man that was on loan, we are going to pick up Enzo Lafi. He comes in for 17 million, and he actually improves in the Premier League. So that proves he is a Premier League standard player, and a player that hopefully has at least kept us in the Premier League, because otherwise it's a little bit awkward. Now, we have signed 3 players. We've spent quite a fair bit of money as well. Obviously, the likes of Garcia, a bit of instalments were coming into play, and we have lost no players. So this team has gained everyone back on loan. We've lost 3 players, gained one of them back who we brought permanently. And obviously Garcia and Royale are brand new faces. So I'm hoping with a bigger squad, we can stay in the Prem. But I know that's a big ask. I tell you what, this is a lot better than what I thought, because we're not only going to be staying up, we have got European football in our first season in the Prem. Now, I released some broken tactics, I understand that, but this is an absolute statement being made. 19 wins, 10 draws, it's a lot of draws, and 9 losses. Oh, a 4-0 stuffing against Tottenham. But apart from that, let's ignore that, because they're the negatives. We have got European football, as you can see right now, Europa League football in Season 1. Joe Bellingham is in the top 4 goal scorers, joint with Tottenham's Victor Gyökeres. What is going on? Joe Bellingham, what an absolute man. What a absolute man. We love to see it. It's only 5 goals behind Erling Haaland. We do love to see it. So that gamble of not spending big on a striker in Season 1 clearly has actually paid off. Now, in terms of the competitions, the rest of them were very similar. So we get knocked out in the final in the Friendly Cup. To be honest with you, it is against Al Ahly. They have got some decent players, and I'm not too fussed. It's a Friendly Cup. These two, again, I'm a little bit annoyed about, purely because, not because I want to win them right away, because we are focusing on the Premier League, obviously, but Leicester City I feel like we could beat. Again, it's a 1-0 game. All the games are so close in these knockouts, and Swansea, we lose on pens, so it doesn't come much closer than getting through. So I do want to see a very slow, steady improvement in both of these from next season. But as for the Prem, I don't even know what to say, because we're now playing in the Europa League as well, so that could actually affect these two, because, of course, if I had to pick between Europa League and Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I would want to go further in the Europa League, and the Premier League, we might see a drop-off because of the extra strain on the squad playing in European fixtures. Now, in terms of money, we have got £73 million. The debts and loans is practically clear. Obviously, we've done very well getting European football, equals money. 73 million is serious Wonga to play with. Now, in terms of the squad, let's go and get harsh but fair. Patterson, I do love you. I think you're a great guy, but you might be replaced for a keeper that is officially Premier League quality. No disrespect. Royale's going to stay. Sirkin's going to stay for now, unless there is a serious left-back on the market. Garcia's going to stay. He's brand new. We might look for one more centre-back to partner in, potentially. The midfield is going to get upgraded, because I feel like now is the time. And no disrespect, because, you know, people like Luke 09, Sunderland fans love, and I understand why, but I don't think he's going to really win me a Premier League. The same can be said for Neil. I do like what we've going on here with this front three, but I feel like a brand new face could come in and potentially replace one of my favourite players in Rig. And Bellingham, I love him. I think he's brilliant, but I just think for long term, at some point we've got to sign a striker. We can't go through the Man City thing from a few years ago where you've got different people playing there, and like Arsenal at the moment where you haven't really got a striker. We need to figure it out, and I tell you what, until we do, we are going to see low goal stat lines. And like I said, it's not always about goals, because at the end of the day, we finished 5th in the league. We've got the job done to a very good level, but we're on about winning a Premier League title. And usually, look at the Premier League winning teams, they're scoring a lot of goals. So let's go into the next season. As it stands, apart from the Championship, we are still trophyless. None of these are coming yet. Let's try and improve in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, be competitive in the Europa League. And I'm going to be very fair here. The top 7 in the Prem. I'm expecting a drop-off because of the strain, but I think top 7's still doable. Then, people, leave a like on the video because I have gone big right now. We have brought in Santiago Jimenez. He has come in from AC Milan for 44 million and returned 24 goals and 2 assists. I have used this man at Feyenoord a lot this year before he went to AC Milan, and I tell you what, he is an absolute baller. He is an absolute baller. The only thing you don't get with him is the pace. But if you feed him chances, the guy will score. He gives off a Mexican Harry Kane vibe. Genuinely a serious player. He is on a fair bit of money per week, but if he's scoring goals, I'll pay his salary. Keep signing, because to be honest with you, when we did sign him, he was a good Premier League goalkeeper, but now he's gone down to a good Sky Bet Championship player, and I feel like he might not have had the... Oh, I mean, 10 clean sheets is fine, but he has conceded 42 goals. So, I mean, we are Sunderland at the end of the day. We are going to concede goals, but I'm going to be honest, what I signed was a lot better than what I see now, and I'm not going to lie. You're going to strengthen the DM position with one of the biggest instalment signings you might see. We are going to pick up Jack Hingelschwood. Now, he comes in for 35 million. Only 8 million was paid up front. The rest is in instalments, but it's completely fine because we are going to have a good project underway, and he is going to play a very, very big part in this team. He returned 7 assists, 2 goals, a very good average rating, and as you can see, he's had a lot better time with us than he ever did with Brighton. Lastly, the face of the AM position, it is going to be Lazar Samardzic. He is going to come in from Udinese, as you can see, and he actually disappoints me a little bit because he gets the game time. I spent £40 million. He returns under a 7 rating, 3 goals and 2 assists. Now, I like Lazar. I think he's a great player, but I have seen him do so much better. The only thing I'm going to say is, as business goes, we are being fairly smart because he's already doubled in value, as you can see. 39 million, now valued 73 to 80. So, you know, the price tag is going up. He still is very young. He's only 24, still got years to prove himself. And a lot can be said about this window because we've spent big, and usually that's how football works. The only signing that hasn't really worked out is the goalkeeper. I'm going to be honest. Jimenez worked out, Jack did, Lazar did. The question is it enough to, one, stay in that top 7 European sort of qualification battle? And have we actually won anything? Let's go and see. Well, I tell you what, in terms of the Prem, it doesn't really get closer than my lowest expectation. We are going to finish in 6th place. And I tell you what, Wolves were not far behind. So we are going to be back into the Europa League. Jimenez is going to score 24 goals in his first season, joint with Erling Haaland, which is remarkable. Isidore, obviously the left-hand-sided winger, who enjoyed a very, very decent season, is going to be joint with Jack Harrison when it comes to the assists. Other than that, we've got nothing to really talk about because this season, again, is very, very at the lower end of my minimum expectation. But I was expecting this. I genuinely was. When you qualify for European football for the first time, your team's decent but not exactly amazing, you will come into this strain. It always happens. But into the Carabao Cup final now against Manchester City, an opportunity to win an English trophy and really prove to the Sunderland fans that we are about it. And look at that from Rig, the man that I said I liked, and that is why Rig can destroy opposition. Now, we are playing Man City, so let's just stay humble, eh? Let's stay humble, and we do stay humble as they get back into the game. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We got battered, but we do manage to get to penalties, and Lazar's going to step. The new man from the spot is going to make it 1-0. Yeremy Pino for Man City misses. The goalkeeper that I slated potentially has won me a cup final, so respect. We will have some respect, as at the moment we are still in the lead, and I tell you what, if we can beat Man City here, that is one big statement, because we can go toe-to-toe with the best just after a couple of seasons. So a very, very big statement, and if we do, Tarati, I am sorry, you're a great goalkeeper, I do apologise, okay? As Emerson Royale, a very, very good penalty. Kovacic is going to step, again, a decent penalty, but we still have that advantage, and we win. We also got to the final of the FA Cup. We do lose against Chelsea, but I tell you what, we've won the Carabao Cup, got to the final of the FA Cup. How about that for improvement? Right, well, I think I got twisted up last season because we actually played in the Champions League. Now, Jimenez was also the top goal scorer in the Champions League. Just to say that for something, he is going to get poached. He 100% is going to get poached. But we don't do too bad, you know. We don't go through automatically, but we do beat teams like Ajax, Celtic, Frankfurt. We get points against Atalanta, Tottenham, Sevilla, and we lose against Bayern, which is completely fine. Do we make it through the knockouts? We do. We beat Dortmund. Wow. We beat Dortmund 4-3, which is fine. And then we lose to Arsenal. Okay, that's completely fine. Do you know what? That makes up for dropping a bit in the Prem. We have won the Carabao Cup. We have got to an FA Cup final. We have been, I'm going to say it, somewhat competitive in the Champions League. And we have still got more European football for next season. It's a very, very strong season. Now, in terms of money, we are going to get heavily rewarded with 95, basically 96 million. The debts and loans is practically non-existent. We are absolutely flying at the moment. Now, in terms of team, because now we have got to, again, look at the team, look to improve. And it does get quite harsh because some of these players are performing really well, but they might not just be good enough to really win me the Prem, etc., etc. Now, the area that I go to right away is I do believe I need to bring in one more centre-back. I just think to partner Garcia, Ballard isn't going to really cut the mustard. I'm looking at the likes of Sirkin right now. He has fallen off a little bit, and potentially a new left-back could finalise a very, very good backline with another centre-back. The goalkeeper I'm torn on because he obviously won me a cup final. Has he done that bad, really? Maybe I'm being too harsh. I'm definitely not going to instantly replace him unless there is someone nuts that comes on the market. Midfield. Now, Lafitte is an interesting player because he's actually ranked quite badly, but he is putting up some decent stat lines. So this area here with the AM support, AM attack is a little bit confusing at the moment. Jimenez is on fire with 43 goals. Rig through the middle, 17 and 13. Lafitte, 11 and 14. Hingelschwood, 3 and 14. I mean, the bench has also got some good stats as well. I do want to see more from Lazar in terms of return, and Barr on the wing, I mean, he also could be a player to get replaced because he has done his job, okay? He has done his job. As you can see, he has played a lot of games, but is just not really putting up the same stat lines. Rusin, a player that I have signed before in a rebuild, and he can do well, has been nothing short of disappointment. So I am going to go through and transfer list some players, I think. So we are going to look at the contracts, and realistically, we're going to go through right now. We're going to worry up until 2027 for now. And to be honest with you, go. Actually, stay for Bar, just as a backup. Go. I might keep Ballard for a backup centre-back. He can stay. Go. So a lot of these players I am going to get rid of purely to build an entire new team over these next sort of how many years to try and challenge for a Premier League title. So I'm going to transfer list all of them. If they do go as free agents, I have done my best. They're on the transfer list. When I go on holiday, I will make sure that I do this. I will go like this, and I'll simply tick that. So they will get an opportunity to be sold and get some money back in. But we're not messing about now. We have to carry on this upward spiral because we are already a few seasons in. The reputation's gone up. We've added a Carabao Cup into their locker. We're doing very well, and another championship. Look at the line. The line is on the upward spiral. Let's get into the next season. positive vibes only. I have gone big, and I've got this player more for the big games in terms of the tough opposition. We have got Frank Kesse in, coming in on the free, so not too bad. He does return a fairly average stat line, but he's more of a player signed for the experience, and I tell you what, he does offer a lot. His penalties, exactly, could come in big time. He's got great teamwork, great work rate, great determination, good aggression, good strength, good stamina. He's still quite quick. He can play in midfield in a variety of roles. The only downwards sort of side to him is the amount of money he's on per week. But at any point he lets me down, I can easily get 30 to 40 million of pure profit. We've also gone fairly big, and we have signed a very expensive left back in Josh Doig, but he comes in, he returns 8 assists, 2 goals, £50 million to clarify. That is what a semi-young, experienced left-back will get you, who hasn't actually played at any real top level. But I know how good he is in the game, and despite spending 50 million, he already is growing on that value. Now, with Josh Doig, you get the complete left back. You get acceleration, you get pace, you get stamina, you get work rate, you get crossing, you get tackling, you even get dribbling with him. He is such a good left back, and I will say it, he can help me win a Premier League. He will not be replaced. He is an incredible player. Sunderland owners, you might want to look away for a second, because your checkbook, it got exploited a little bit this year, because we are going to spend big on bringing in Alex Buena. Now, I will say, this guy's a bit of me, because a lot of people might be put off because he's not got 18 pace, 19 acceleration, but he's a very technical inside forward player. Now, this system requires that. It requires someone who can play in that area, but almost plays a bit like an AM, and this guy can play AM as well, so it's a very, very, very much needed sort of candidate to get into the tactic. But he cost me £71 million. Now, luckily, he has returned some very, very good stat lines. 12 goals, 14 assists, 7.17. But boy, the installments on this guy, you could buy multiple houses with. Now, I will say, if we don't win anything in this season, some would say that I'll flop the window, but I'm going to go in with my head held high. We've got 3 very, very good players, and I think with this window, at minimum, another English trophy and back in the top 4. Let's go and find out. We are in a Europa League final against Galatasaray, and I'm not sure how this game's really going to go, because we have got probably the better team in some areas, and I tell you what, playing like that, beautiful play, Alex with the assist, we are 1-0 up in 36 seconds, and we're on the attack. Again, 5 minutes in, Alex on the ball, the £70 million man, and that is why, look at that for a little, oh my, wow, 2-0 inside of 5 minutes, Alex showing why that price tag is justified. Into Jimenez on the ball, running at the back line. We are having a field day. Jimenez going alone. Oh my, wow. These players are putting on a show for the fans. 3-0 in 27 minutes, and we now find ourselves in the 87th. So a very quiet game after the first 3 goals, as Job is going to go through, and that is beautiful. Seeing Job score a Europa League final game to make it 4. Oh wow, we're going again. Alex, the 90th minute. We are currently 4-0 up. Alex on the ball, inside, into 09, plenty of time, into Lafi. He also deserves this moment. He deserves it big time. A 5-0 lead, and there's time for one more. Oh, wow. Great press from 09 there. He's going to play it through into Job. What's going to happen here? Into Kesse, into Alex. A 6-0 Europa League final win. That is right, a 6-0 win in the Europa League final, and I think it's pretty fair to say Alex Buena has pretty much justified himself. Also, are going to get to the final of the Carabao Cup, where unfortunately we are going to lose to Liverpool. But do you know what? I'm not too fussed, because the fact we got to a final in the Europa League is one thing, and won it. To get to another final, that's greedy. But maybe I should be happy, because we're not being greedy when it comes to the FA Cup, as we are going to lose in the 5th round, this time against United. Now, this click, this button, will go from being a good season to an ecstatic season. If we finish in that top 4, now of course, we already are in the Champions League because of winning Europa League, but if we are in the top 4, it can show that we can be competitive in a European fixture, a European competition. We've been competitive in one of the English Cups. If we can go in the top 4, we can hack it. 3, 2, 1, click. Get in there. Second place and only 5 points behind Man City. That is a remarkable season. Our best Prem finish, Europa League victory, finalists in one of the English Cups. That is absolutely sensational. And you know why? The draws have come down. Only 6 draws, 7 losses. None of them, apart from that Chelsea game there, are real thumpings. Jimenez being the top goal scorer, or second top goal scorer behind Haaland. And look. Alex Buena, 14 assists. The top player when it comes to the league. Josh Doig in there as well. It is so nice to see when a plan starts to come together. And you know what? That is a remarkable season. Now, in terms of money, we have got quite a fair bit. £87 million, and it is to be justified. Second place, Europa League winners. We deserve what we're going to get. Now, this team, it's coming together. I did lock in these 2 lads as well just to show that. And we're looking at the team right now, and I'm slowly falling in love with it. Now, Tarati is really going downhill, so I might sign a goalkeeper, potentially. I do apologise to Tarati, because he has helped us win our first real trophy. And I hope you are sort of watching the tactic slowly evolve over time as well. We're constantly making tweaks to it. Now, what I'm noticing in this team, which I am really liking, you go back, you rewind the video 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, we didn't really have big stat lines out of plays in terms of goals, apart from maybe Jimenez, or before that, maybe Bellingham with 22. We have now got 44 and 7 for Jimenez, Buena 26 and 21, Bellingham 22 and 11. We have then got 14 and 20 from Samardzic. We have got such a good contribution. The wing-backs, the confidence, 4 and 15 from Royale, Doig 3 and 17. The centre-backs coming in. Now, replacements. New goalkeeper, additional centre-back, maybe another attacking midfield player, and maybe just general squad players. But this team, we're on the path to greatness. We are on the path to greatness. I'm buzzing. Be sure to smash your like and subscribe. It is completely free. And by the way, if you want to see me do any of this live, head on over to Josh Daly, because we live stream a lot now, and I'd love to see some faces over there. We are cooking, man. They've got a very, very good centre-back, and actually it gets even better because he's valued at 85 million, and we got him on the free. Now, I will say, in terms of overall stats, he's not exactly set the league alight, but in terms of an actual player, he's very, very well-rounded. Now, I did get him mainly because he was on the free, and I thought, do you know what? We are still Sunderland. We've got to be somewhat humble. We can't go and spend 200 million on a centre-back. And do you know what? I don't know why he's on such a downward spiral. I imagine just a dip of form towards the end of the season, but he has still got it. He's quick, he's got the fitness, he's got the tackling. He is a very good centre-back, but I'm going to be honest, I never lied to you boys and girls. He's disappointed me a little bit. Then going to go and pick up one of the most favoured upcoming English talents in Adam Wharton. Now, he is one for the future, and I tell you what, at the moment, he is purely a backup because he's not developed the best of the best. He has not had great seasons at Palace. We pay 25 million. He comes in and plays 9 games. So I am going to potentially consider loaning him out for 1 season to get the blood back flowing, get the blood boiling, get him angry, get him wanting to be competitive, because this guy, in form and well developed, yeah, it's as good as it gets. Again, a player who is very, very young, tons of potential. It is going to be Wilson Odobert. Now, he comes in from Tottenham for 14 million as a backup, so no real pressure, but he does deliver when it is required. 4 goals, 2 assists, 1 player of the match, and he is purely there to be a backup to cover on the left and sometimes through the middle if we're really that bad up for injuries. And you know what? For that price tag, I'm happy to pay it. He's a very good squad player. The same was going to be said for Filippo Mane, but he has come in and arguably been the better centre-back signing. We did spend money on this one, £10 million, and he is on 125k a week. But again, very similar to Sarr. He's got the pace, he has got the stamina, he has got the tackling, he has got everything you would want for a centre-back. And we have now got Garcia, we have got Sarr and Mane. That is 3 incredible centre-back choices. What a lineup. Good enough. You could add in another one. We are going to sign one in for the future. Now, don't worry. He is being trained and he currently is playing also in the under-21s. It is going to be Guy Roger Matip. Now, obviously, a new face. He does get 3 games in his first season. There's no real pressure on the lad. He just looks nuts. For someone 19, again, he's got the pace, 17 teamwork, 17 determination. This guy's going places. Now, as you can tell, we have invested quite heavily in the back line. We have got Sarr, we've got Mane, we've got Matip. We've obviously strengthened midfield to somewhat of a degree by adding in a rotation player and also another winger as rotation. So we've covered several areas and we've only lost one player in Elias Lenz. All those players we transfer listed, I still haven't been able to sell. That's the only annoying thing. But we are going to start off the season by winning the European South American Club Cup Challenge. Not the biggest trophy, but I'll take it. This is a bit bigger, a very sort of intense game against Man City. We are going to beat them in the Community Shield. I know people call this the Charity Shield, whatever it is, but do you know what? I'm going to claim it. Super Cup as well, I would have taken, but unfortunately Arsenal on the day are going to be a bit strong. Ethan Namweri is going to score an extra time. But I think we talk about the Champions League because we only have to go one stage back from the final to see where we got to. We do get blitzed by Real Madrid, but we have gone through the quarterfinals. We have beaten Barcelona 4-2. We have also beaten Juventus 4-3. And as for the league phase, we are right up there with Man City and Madrid. We're actually somewhat competitive already. And as for the Premier League, I'm still happy because when you see the competition screen, we played in so many more competitions this year for whatever reason. It's absolutely unreal. So I am going to accept this, and I'm still going to accept the fact that Alex Buena is clearly one of the best wingers in the Prem right now. We have got the likes of Jimenez being very competitive in there with Haaland. We're still in that sort of title race. Yes, this season a lot less points than last season in terms of closeness with City, with Liverpool, and it is going to take time, but do you know what? At least we're in there. But I mean, when you look at this competition screen, you can also see, for example, a third round exit against who? I mean, against Southampton. We should be beating them, I feel now, in the third round of the Carabao Cup, and the quarters we are going to lose to Southampton again. Wow, clearly they had our number, didn't they? Clearly. But if you look at the competitions, we played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I know some of these are one-game things, but, mate, let me have a day off. 7 competitions is unbelievable in one season, so I am going to somewhat take that. We have got 2 new trophies we've never won before. We have got European football, Champions League football for next season again, and we can go in with our heads held high. The question is, without winning the Premier League, and without really winning an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and just winning 2 sort of friendly cups, how much money have we got? 76 million? Whoa, okay. Wow. 108 million with the debts and loans looking like this. We can go and spend. 108 million pounds. We are going to take that into the next window. And I'm going to say it right now to make it clear. 100% a new goalkeeper. Maybe no new defenders because we've got a very good back line now. The midfield looks good, but maybe an additional sort of DM player just to rotate in between. And as for the front four, it's going to take someone special to replace them because I like what I see. So let's get into the next season after a very strong season. 8-15 from Fee. Bellingham's still doing well. Buena's doing very well. Jimenez, of course, doing well as well. Dan Neil also having a great season. Shout out to Big Dan right there. Let's go in to the next season with 108 million. And let's just see who takes a fancy. Right then, so first up, we are going to be bringing in Mamardashvili, obviously the new Liverpool man. He's a very, very pricey goalkeeper at £32 million. But as you can see, instantly an improvement. Concedes less than the games he played in and dropped a 7 rating and kept 19 clean sheets. That's a player I want. I am sorry, Liverpool fans, but when Conor Bradley wants to leave, I'm going to take him because he is great competition for Emerson Royale. And I'll say it right now, he has got into the team and played almost every game. 1 goal, 8 assists, 7.3 rating. The guy is nuts. 17 acceleration, 16 agility, 16 pace, 13 tackling, 14 crossing. This guy is my system's dream. He is a great right back, and now we have got a stacked right back lineup. And one thing I've thought about with Jimenez is, firstly, he's got no competition, and secondly, if he gets injured, we're stuffed. We are going to lose a lot of goals. So I go over and pick up Rodrigo Ribeiro, coming in from Sporting. Now, he plays a lot of games, and he does actually score a lot of goals. Now, I'm going to be honest, it might sound a bit toxic, this, but I'm a little bit annoyed because he was actually agreed to play as backup, Jimenez as the main striker. Now, maybe Jimenez had a dip in form, maybe he got injured, but I wasn't expecting him to play as many games. But can I really question a man that is scoring goal after goal? I can't really. He has obviously played a big part, and with these attributes, I'm starting to see why. Lastly, we are going to pick up Gonçalo Meira. He is going to come in from Benfica. The 23-year-old Portuguese set me back 31 million, but he does assist 8 and score 13. A very, very strong season, a 7.5 average rating, and again, young, tons of potential, already a good Premier League player. And I tell you what, his future's bright. His future is Sunderland, and that is going to complete a window. We have got several players going out either on loan, or in fact all of them on loan, so we're not going to pay too much attention to those. It's better to have them out on loan getting game time than rotting at the club. I look at this. We've got a great goalkeeper, a new great right back, a great striker, and a very good attacking midfield player. Is this the season? Is this the season we knock Man City and Arsenal off their perch? Let's go and see. Well, if there's anything, if we're going to judge it off the Carabao Cup performance, we may as well just get into the next season, because we're going to get knocked out in the 4th round, 4-1 over Palace. The FA Cup, we are also going to get to a decent level in, but we are not going to win it. We are going to lose in the semi-final against Arsenal, where we would have gone on to play Brighton, a team that I feel we could have beaten. Champions League, we are going to stay humble and we're going to take a step back, as we are going to lose to Real Madrid, who got to the final. Let's go and see. Barca Madrid. That is one stacked final, one that I hoped I'd be a part of. But we are going to be your Premier League winners, and it's quite unique because we've won it by 2 points, so a very close season. By far the least amount of losses we have got, hence why we have won. But it's the first season where we have not got a player really in the top goal scorers. Mamardashvili, 19 clean sheets, the best keeper in the league this year. What a signing. Connor Bradley, the 4th best performer. We have also got our new attacking midfield player, the best average rating. Alex Buena, joint second with Bukayo Saka. We have got some good players in here, but I'm thinking we might have won the league more off defensive prowess compared to the attacking side. Now, if we go and look, we actually ranked 2nd best in both categories. So we sort of got, not lucky, but it was very, very close this season. Now, if you do want to carry on this rebuild, I'm going to set you a challenge, and it is going to be a big challenge. Your challenge is to win the Champions League with 2 more seasons on top of what you see right now. Now, if you are going to take on the challenge, you've got a budget of 132 million. You have got a very, very good team. Let's look at the final team. You've got Mamardashvili, Bradley, Mane, Sarr, Doi, Kesse, Hingelschwood, Bellingham, Meira, Buena, Ribeiro on the bench, Garcia, Samardzic, Jimenez, Royale, Dan Neil, Ballard. You've got Lafie, you've got Barr, you've got Sirkin, Wharton, Riggs still's here. You've got so many really, really good players, and the great thing about it is, if you don't like an area, you got 132 million, so that is going to be challenge complete. And I'm going to say my favourite man of the video, I'm so torn because I could go with so many players. My favourite signing, I've got to do it. It would be Buena, but I've got to be fair to him. Jimenez has come in, right? And he has been nothing but consistent up until the last season, where obviously a new man come in. So do you know what? Probably my player of the video. If you do want to carry on this and also get the tactic as well, you can head over to that Patreon page and go and get them. And please do come by the live streams. They're on the Josh Daly channel, so my tactic channel. We are live every other day pretty much, and we are rebuilding Manchester United live. So hopefully I see some beautiful faces over there. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Sunderland back into the Premier League, and Premier League winners, and Europa League.